Hi everyone and welcome to my how-to videos. Today's video is about how to perform a squat correctly, and this is going to be great particularly if you're a beginner, and if you're not a beginner there are some really important technical cues that I will talk about that can be easily forgotten when you're in the midst of a program. So bear all these points in mind because it will help you reduce the risk of injury and help you maximize your potential with every squat. Now, one of the reasons that this exercise is one of my favorites is one, because you don't need any equipment to really be able to get the most out of an exercise. You can do it with just your body weight, and you can do it when you're on the couch, when you're at your dining table, when you want to take a break at work. So there are a lot of ways that you can incorporate this exercise into your daily routine. Number two is it's a compound exercise, or it uses many joints to perform one action. So what that means is you're using many muscle groups to perform the task. And when you're time poor or you want to maximize the amount of energy you're burning with one exercise, this is a great starting point. It doesn't have to be complicated, and you can really fit it into any kind of routine that you have, whether it's 10 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it might be. You can also build on the basic squat to introduce progressive overload to work your muscles a little bit harder once you've mastered the basic squat. 3, this exercise basically mimics many of our activities of daily living. We constantly sit up in and out of the couch, we get in and out of our car, we are sitting for prolonged periods of time during the day, we're lifting our kids, we're lifting boxes. This exercise, when done correctly, will help you minimize the risk of injury to your spine. It will improve your joint flexibility and improve the strength of your core, hip flexors, glutes, thighs, hamstrings, and your calves. So there are 5 points to keep in mind when executing the perfect squat. Number 1 is we want our legs to be just further than hip width apart, and we want to keep our feet slightly turned outward, and this will help with the transfer of weight. Number 2 is we want to flex at the hip. When we flex at the hip, our knees become in alignment with our toes. If we do not flex at the hip, what happens is our knees track forward and all our pressure goes into our knee joints, and we don't want that when we're performing a squat. So bending at the or flexing at the hip will help draw our knees in alignment with our toes. Point number 3 is we want to maintain a neutral spine. And what that means is we want the natural curvature of our spine to be there when we're performing a squat. So we want to avoid excessive flexion of the lower back. Point number 4 is to keep our shoulders back and our chest out, and this will help with the natural curvature of the spine. And so when we come down, all our joints are in alignment. And tip number 5 is to brace. Now bracing is really important because we want to help protect the spine. We want the muscles around our spine to carry the weight, not the spine itself. So if you think about a sledgehammer versus a noodle, a pool noodle, a sledgehammer is obviously going to be a greater carrier of force than the pool noodle. So if you try and use that as an analogy when you're bracing, that's what we want to think about. I will teach you bracing, the correct technique for bracing, why it's really important in our next video. But for now, brace your core as though you're about to be punched in the stomach. So you want to really tighten that area to help protect the spine. So if we put all of those points in a sequence and we think of our body like a chain, we've got our legs just further than hip width apart, we've got our feet slightly turned out, we're going to flex at the hip, and we're going to move our bottom just like we're going to sit on a chair that's a little bit too far away from us, and we're going to keep our chest out, shoulders back, and brace. So we're going to come down. We're going to come down to about 90 degrees, okay, and back up. We're going to come down and back up. If you're really having some challenges with the balance of this exercise, particularly if you're starting out, use a chair. A chair is a really good tool to help guide your body and to make sure your technique is correct. And if you do wobble and lose your balance in your first initial goes, you've got the chair to protect you. So, using those points in mind, we've got our chair behind us. All I'm going to do is the same technique. And I'm going to let my bottom just hit the chair and I'm going to come back up. Using the chair as a guide, we know we're hitting the right angles. Okay, we're keeping the tension in our legs. Okay, we're not actually sitting down. And this way we are maintaining our correct form. We're using the chair as a guide, and particularly if you're starting out and your core is a little bit weak and you're having a bit of trouble balancing, the chair is really good, even if you want to sit down for a second and come back up. I hope you found the tips in this video really useful, and if so, please check out my other how-to videos to improve and progress your fitness journey. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to my channel. And until the next video, future fit yourself, and I'll see you soon.